Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning,
Walaikum
ladies
salam.
and gentlemen, in Obour High Institute, and good afternoon for Universitas Pancasakti Tegal in Indonesia. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Meet me again with Aldi here as the moderator of sit-in course uh, Universitas Pancasakti Tegal. So, before we start our course today, it is better for you all to on camera, please.
طلاب العبور افتحوا الكاميرا بعد إذنكم. طلاب العبور افتحوا الكاميرا. طلاب العبور افتحوا الكاميرا.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, it seems that all the participants have already joined the meeting now. And for a moment, we're going to start the course. So today, it is actually a great day because today we are going to learn about the variety of languages in Indonesia, and it will be delivered by Mrs. Khusnul Khotimah MPD. She is one of our lecturers in Indonesian Education Program in Universitas Pancasakti Tegal. Okay, that's very good. It seems that all of you have on camera. Thank you so much. And hello, Professor Nashat Edward. Thank you so much for
Hello, Professor.
joining this meeting. It
Me
is
too.
an
Thank
honor
you.
for me for us to be with you in this room.
Nice to see you.
Okay, so I'm going to share my screen first. Wait a minute. Do you see my screen?
Yeah, I see.
Okay, thank you so much. Well, ladies and gentlemen, today we are going to discuss about the variety of Indonesian language, and it will be delivered by Mrs. Khusnul Khotimah MPD. So for Mrs. Khusnul Khotimah MPD, please do.
Yeah, thank you for the time, Aldi. Thank you for coming, Professor Edward.
Thank you, Professor. Nice to meet you.
Yeah.
And the top chance for our students to teach with you.
Okay. Thank you. Okay. Hi, everybody. How are you today? How are you today? Fine. Okay.
Fine.
Okay. Thank you. Yesterday, you learned BIPA with Miss Afsun, and now we will learn about the diversity of Indonesian, especially culture and language. And here this material, but previously I will show a video about Indonesian culture diversity from the video. Aldi, please.
Okay, wait a minute. I will share the video about
This video about culture in Indonesia.
Wait. Sudah.
I see.
So ladies and gentlemen, here is the video from our culture. Please enjoy.
Not clear ya?
Indonesia is the most beautiful land in the universe. The land where we were born. The nation where we grew up. So many colors that live together in peace. With a million timeless treasures. With an abundance of natural wealth. Indonesia is not just wonderful. Indonesia is a wonderland.
Sakit mah, minum Milanta. Milanta, cepat tingkat sakit mah. Sayang, sifat tokaan matego, tego gorokan sayang sajujur, iumadam ko bisa berparis muna keke, muna keke. Soleram, anak yang manis, janganlah dicium, sayang kalau dicium, merah pipinya, kampuan jauh di batu, gunung san baku liliang, takkan aja kawan alamu, sangke basuh yang surya.
dengan ini menyatakan kemerdekaan Indonesia. Hal-hal yang mengenai pemindahan kekuasaan dan lain-lain diselenggarakan dengan cara yang sama karena tempo yang sesingkat-singkatnya. Jakarta, 17 Agustus 1945, atas nama bangsa Indonesia, Soekarno, Hatta.
Back to PowerPoint, Aldi.
Okay, wait a minute.
Yeah, I'm sorry for the bad signal.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's the video of our cultures. That's actually the compilation of our cultures that
Your country is wonderful. So we
Okay.
wanted to traveling now to arrive at Indonesia with our students. So
Thank
excellent. So excellent.
yeah, for
I can waiting it.
oh,
Please. I can waiting for it, Prof. Nasab Edward. As
Thank
soon as
you, Professor.
possible, you are welcome to Indonesia.
Welcome to in Egypt with your student and the professor in our country.
Inshallah.
I'm meeting you, Prof. Nasat.
Nice to see you too.
Okay. Next, about this video. No. From the video, we see that Indonesian is very diverse in culture and ethnic. Yeah. What if in Egypt are the many language in one country or only one language, Aldi? Coba disampaikan ke mereka kalau di Indonesia itu banyak sekali suku budaya dan hal itu berpengaruh pada bahasanya. Apakah di Mesir seperti itu atau lain?
well, ladies and gentlemen, as you know that Indonesia have a variety of a culture and also languages. What does in Egypt does do the same or not? I mean, like, does the culture in Egypt influence the languages there? Anyone wants to tell us?
Aya maybe? Esra? Ahmed? Try to tell me.
It is the same language but a different accent. Our culture affects the accent, not the language. Like it is the same, we all can understand it, but the accent change.
Okay. Um, so sorry because there was a problem on. Okay, so sorry because there was a trouble of our internet connection. So for Aya, can you please repeat?
In our culture, where it doesn't affect the language, we just speak in different accents.
Okay, so you mean that in Egypt, you also have a variety of cultures. Is that right?
Please, Professor, please. Hello.
Yeah, okay. hearing.
You can typing your questions in book chatting. Maybe some students not hearing well. You can typing your questions in chat box to help our students to understand you. If you can, you listen me.
Yes, I understand you, Profesor. Bu
Thank you.
Khusnul, mungkin kita bisa memberikan pertanyaan itu melalui chat supaya nanti bisa dibaca dengan mudah oleh mahasiswa dari Maroko karena bad connection itu juga mempengaruhi pendengaran.
Thank you, Professor.
Well, thank you so much for Professor Nasha Edward for your suggestion,
Thank
and
you.
also Mr. Aris Rafiki MSE. Thank you so much. But we'll do it later. Now we're going to see the next explanation from Mrs. Khusnul Khotimah. Yeah, next one, please.
Excuse me. طلاب العبور هم هيكتبوا لكم الأسئلة على الشاتنج، ممكن تستعينوا بيها أو الترجمة لو حبيتوا يعني. شكرا. اوكي سير بروفيسور.
Yeah, okay. So I will material in meeting in here. Spread of Indonesian language user. In Indonesia, 220 million user in all religions. Overseas, Brunei, Malaysia, Australia, Timor-Leste, Netherlands, Russia, and Japan. Next. No, definisi dulu aja. Definition of variety of language. Language variation, according to usage, differ based on the topic being discussed, according to the relationship between the speaker and interlocutor, the person being discussed, and according to the speaker's medium. Next. Nah, types of language variety. 1. Local language. The Indonesian language that can be used in the area is usually won by the local environment. For example, speaking Indonesian, which is spoken by people in Java, is different from speaking Indonesian, which is spoken by the presence of a people in the region of Sumatera. Nah, jadi Aldi bisa dijelaskan dulu, Aldi, bahwa dalam penyebarannya di Indonesia itu di seluruh pemakai ada 220 million di seluruh daerah. Dijelaskan dulu, Aldi. 220.000. Ya.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, Mrs. Khusnul Khotimah said that in Indonesia we have for about 220 hundreds of languages, and it is divided into several city in Indonesia and something like that.
Yeah. Okay. Next. B. Formal and non-formal language. Formal language is often used in formal events such as initiation, ceremony, seminar, and meeting. While non-formal language is often used in your daily activity outside of formal event, for example, when talking to family and friends. Oke, Aldi putar video dulu, Aldi. Yang awal dulu, iya. Setelah slide 2. Slide 2. Diantarkan dulu, Al.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, after this, we will show you the video. Wait a minute. Please wait a minute. Is it right, Mrs. Khusnul Khotimah? Keragaman
Yes.
suku in Indonesia? Okay. Okay, here is the video. Operates.
Dan mulutmu dengan Total Care Mouthwash. 99% natural antibakterial dari siwak, sea salt, tea tree oil, dan teknologi CPC. Melindungi mulut dari kuman dan bakteri.
Nah, kenapa tuh? Yeah, so ladies and gentlemen, Indonesia have the widest tropical forest, and also it also have a lot of fauna, and also something like interesting creatures. As you can see, it is the traditional dances from Indonesia. It has so many traditional dances, and also traditional crafts. So this is the traditional dance coming from Nangro, Aceh, Jerusalem. Aceh is one of the city in Indonesia.
Bahagia hidup sejahtera di khatulistiwa, alam berseri-seri, bunga beraneka, mendengar nama-nama, bertajuk cahaya tinggal, surya di cakrawala, selalu berseri, alam indah bermain di khatulistiwa, bersara senyum tawa, hawa sejuk taman, wajah pagi rupawan, burung berkicau riang, bermari embun surga.
Syukur kehadiran yang maha pencipta, atas anugerahnya tanah nirmala.
Bersuka cita, insan di pesara yang aman sentosa, damai makmur merdeka di setiap masa, bersyukur kita semua.
So you can see that this is ondel-ondel. It's coming from Jakarta. Ondel-ondel is one of the habit from Jakarta.
Selalu berseri, alam indah bermain di Indonesia, negeri tali jiwa, hawa sejuk nyaman, wajah pagi rupawan, burung berkicau riang, bermari embun surga.
Syukur kehadiran yang maha kuasa, atas anugerahnya tanah pidana.
Bersuka cita, insan di negara yang bebas merdeka, dukung damai sentosa di setiap masa, bersatulah kita semua.
Thank you so much. Indonesian culture is beautiful and intelligent to visit it. That's very entertaining for us to visit it.
Aku bahagia di khatulistiwa.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's the video from our culture also, because we are have rich culture. Thank you so much for the students for appreciating our culture. Okay, next we will continue our discussion. Yeah, for Mrs. Khusnul, do you want to continue? Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Aldi. Thank you for the appreciation in my country. Indonesian is very interesting because the diversity can be packaged into one language, namely Indonesian, and everything goes together. Ya, jadi bisa dijelaskan Mas Aldi bahwa Indonesia memang sangat beragam, namun keragaman itu bisa dikemas dalam satu bahasa, yaitu bahasa Indonesia.
Okay, Mrs. Khusnul Khotimah say that Indonesia have a very wonderful culture and also variety of culture diversity, but it can also be simplified with one language, that is Bahasa Indonesia, something like that.
Dari semua suku mereka memiliki satu bahasa daerah, namun ketika bertemu mereka bisa menggunakan satu bahasa yaitu bahasa Indonesia. No, sebelum itu. Ya,
Could you please repeat Mrs. Khusnul Khotimah for your explanation before?
ya. Of all tribes have one regional language, but when they meet they use Indonesian. Jadi ketika mereka semua bahasa daerah, namun ketika bertemu mereka bisa menggunakan satu bahasa yaitu bahasa Indonesia. Itulah keunikannya.
Okay, so actually Indonesia have a lot of people, right? So they will also have their native language from their city. But when someday that they are gathered in some places and they will use Bahasa Indonesia, yeah, something like that. They will not use their native language anymore, but they will use Bahasa Indonesia.
Okay, next Aldi. No, nanti dulu. Bahasa ini dulu. Pendidikan. Ya, bahasa pendidikan ya. Oke. Three, educational language. The language that has been used with educates people in theory, different from that of educates people. It can be compared to the pronunciation of words as educate people often use the word like watching television and video. Unlike people who have not gone through education, what tend to be hard. Jadi ada juga yang dinamakan bahasa pendidikan, di mana orang berpendidikan itu akan menggunakan bahasa yang lebih halus. Namun orang yang tidak berpendidikan akan menggunakan bahasa yang cenderung kasar. Coba dijelaskan.
Okay, so there is educational language in Indonesia. It contains that those who are educated people will use foreign language, and those who doesn't educated people, they will not use education languages. So it is something like different, or there is some differences between those who educated people and those who are not an education people, something like that.
Yes, thank you Aldi. Aldi, saya kira banyak sekali pertanyaan di chat. Kita mungkin chat dulu ya.
Okay, so there is present a lot of question in the chat box. So before we go to the next slide, we will try to answer your question. Is that right, Mrs. Khusnul Khotimah?
Yeah, I want to answer Ayah.
Okay.
A lot of custom are just traditional custom in Indonesia. Yes, jadi semua daerah memiliki custom yang berbeda seperti itu.
Okay, so every city in this country is having their own native language and also their own culture. Yeah.
Karena tidak ada gambar ya. Kalau video terlalu terputus-putus, maksudnya kalau ada gambar kan enak kita copy gambar ini, pakaian ini, begitu Al. Ya, itu ada pertanyaan lagi Aldi. Siapa ini? Mario? I hope the student from your university will come to Egypt and will welcome you and them to your university. Ya, mungkin kita akan ke sana ya nanti kalau ada waktu.
Thank you so much for inviting us. We are very exciting also to come to your university. I mean, in Obour High Institute Egypt. It is my hope also to visit your university.
We will come, Professor, too.
Thank you so much, Professor.
Thank you.
Okay.
Ke slide again, Aldi?
Well, we will continue our discussion. It is talking about the next slide. Well, wait a minute. Is this right, Mrs. Khusnul?
Oral
Variety of
variety.
languages.
Oral variety, Aldi. Yeah. Okay. So, next slide. Variety of language based on the media use. Yeah, and oral variety, the language is spoken or spoke language. The standard language is often used in many of these languages. The way of speaking varies depending of the environment. Jadi, ada yang namanya ragam bahasa lisan dan ragam bahasa tulis, ya. Ragam bahasa lisan, characteristic of the spoken variety, one, require a second person. Two, depending on the situation, conditions, space, and time. You don't have to pay attention to grammatical element. You just need intonation and body language. Fast pace often can occur with assistive device. Error can be correct instantly. Can be assisted with gesture and facial expression and intonation. Jadi ciri-ciri rekam bahasa lisan itu ada yang saya sebutkan tadi. Mau dijelaskan dulu, Al?
Okay, so the characteristic of spoken language is you can see on the screen given.
Okay, and then writing variety. The variety of writing language whose basic element are letter, symbol, variously aspect of grammar and vocabulary. Each of which has a set of rules that differ from one another. Oke, bisa dijelaskan dulu Al, ragam bahasa tulis?
Okay, so yeah, so there's also writing variety of Indonesia. I mean, like Indonesian language, as you can see on the screen, there are the variety of written language whose basic elements are letters, symbolize various aspects of grammar and vocabulary. So there is some differences between spoken language and also in written language, because in spoken language we have no rules for grammatical, but in writing, when we are going to write some letters or something like that in Indonesia, so you have to notice the grammatical also or other elements. Yeah, something like that, Mrs. Khusnul Khotimah.
Yeah. Okay. Next, characteristic of the spoken. Oh no. Characteristic of the written variety. One, does not require a second person. Not depending on condition, situation, and space and time. Must pay attention to grammatical element. Slow pace. Always use assistive device. Error cannot be correct immediately. Cannot be helped by gesture and facial expression. Only helped by punctuation. Silahkan Al. Ciri ragam bahasa tulis.
Yeah, so this is the characteristics or features of the written variety. Yeah, as you can see on the screen, doesn't require a second person or interlocutor, not depending on condition, situation, and space and time. And also must pay attention to the grammatical elements. So you have to notice this. In the written variety, you have to pay attention to the grammatical elements. It is something related with the English. In English, we also have to notice the grammatical features when we're going to write letters or something else. It is also applied in Bahasa Indonesia. So it is different when you are speaking and when you are going to write a letter or something else.
Yeah, okay. Next, I want to see you video speak on formal and informal. Aldi, slide 9. Yeah.
So, ladies and gentlemen, after this, I will show you the video about the formal language in Bahasa Indonesia. Just wait a minute. Wait a minute. Yang mana, Bu Husnul? Juara 1 pidato bahasa Inggris. Oke.
Aku punya kuis untukmu. Apa
Oke,
itu
I'm
satu
sorry
ekor
for
dalam
this
bahasa
advertisement.
Inggris?
Yeah, so this is the video.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. To the honorable judges, the timekeeper, my fellow friends, ladies and gentlemen, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. For the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, this world would never exist without His Almightiness, the God of records of dust to the vastness of the universe. Thanks to Him and praises to Him for all the things He has granted to us. And may we not forget our salawat and salam to our beloved Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, along with his families and his fellow followers until the end of time. Ladies and gentlemen, in this happy and blessed moment, we are gathered in this lovely place, where, in the next few minutes, I would like to share my perspective about the role of Islamic students, the Islamic youth, in developing Indonesia. To begin with, I'd like to ask all of you first, do you know General Sudirman? Have you ever heard of Imam Bonjol? What about Bung Tomo? Who are they actually? Yes, you're right. They were the heroes of Indonesia. And for your information, they were Islamic students. Brothers and sisters, what comes to your mind when you hear the word Islamic student? Are they people who are about Islam, or maybe the people whose activities are just reading books, memorizing Quran and praying? Or the people who live in a humble place and work hard to fulfill their needs? No, those are wrong perspectives. Islamic students are the people who learn more about Islam and implement it in their daily life, so they can make this world better than before. Ladies and gentlemen, I am an Islamic student. Before I became an Islamic student, many people say that, I will be a homosexual by being an Islamic student, because I live in a place where I'm surrounded by men, no one at all. They also say that I could be claimed as a terrorist, because many Muslims nowadays are claimed as terrorists. But after I registered to an Islamic boarding school and became an Islamic student, I thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala very much, because in there, I am taught how to be a good Muslim. I am taught how to live in a civil way. I am taught how to interact with other people nicely, and I am taught how to be the leader of this country. It shows that the Islamic students are really taught to be the agent of change, who can lead this country to its glory based on Islamic rules. Brothers and sisters, we know that the country which has the biggest Muslim population is Indonesia. It is stated that the biggest Muslim population is about 85% from the total of 257.9 million Indonesians. This huge number should be able to make this country become a great Islamic country. But unfortunately, we can see the effects that are happening now. Robberies are happening everywhere, and most of the robbers are Muslims. Many individuals are being raped, and most of the rapers are Muslims. But remember, ladies and gentlemen, those Muslims whose total actions are the Muslims never learned about Islam. They only get their status as a Muslim because they were born from Muslim parents.
Tapi ini udah.
Those people are only destroying Islam and only citizens. They never read the Quran and Islamic meanings. So they do whatever they want without seeing the impact to themselves, to the nation, and to the religion. Ladies and gentlemen, Indonesia, we need someone who can change this whole situation that is happening in this global nation. We need someone who can raise the good name of Islam in the eyes of the world. We need someone who can be the role model for all Muslims, so that people will know how Islam is. Ladies and gentlemen, so who else is going to be the person I just mentioned other than Islamic students? We are the only one.
Okay, bentar. Okay. Wait. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's the video of the way to present formal languages. Oh, okay. That's the video of speech. Yeah, in English, yeah. It is using formal language. So is that possible if we continue to the informal ways, Mrs. Husnul?
Yeah.
Okay. Wait a minute. Wait. Ini Husnul yang paling atas. So this is the dialogue.
Excuse me, do you mind if I sit down?
No. Let me move my bag.
Thank you. By the way, do you live in the dorm? I think I've seen you there.
Yes. I just moved in last week.
I live in the dorm too.
Oh, really? Do you like it?
Yeah, it's okay.
You may
It takes me
see
about 5 minutes to
also
get to my
the
first class in the morning.
I'm not so lucky.
subtitle
My
of
first class is on the other
Indonesia
side of the university.
below
But I've got a
of
bicycle,
the
so it doesn't take too long.
I've got a bike too, but I haven't needed it this semester.
Well, this is my stop coming up. By the way, my name's Evan.
Hi Evan, I'm Safi.
Nice meeting you, Safi. I'll probably see you around.
Okay, bye Evan.
Bye. Hi there. I'm Evan. I saw you in the morning class.
Oh, you mean English linguistic class?
Yeah, you probably didn't see me. I was late, so I was sitting by the door.
Well, I'm Rihanna. I'm sorry. Did you say your name was Ivan?
Actually, it's Evan, with an E.
Oh, sorry Evan. I didn't get a lot of sleep last night.
Don't worry about it. People are always calling me Ivan.
So, do you have another class after this?
No. I've done my 3 classes today. What about you?
Me too. My last class had just finished. Now I'm waiting for my friend.
Okay then, I'd better be off. See you in linguistic class, Rihanna.
Sure. See you, Evan.
Dr. Evan? Yes? Let me introduce myself. I'm Mark Davis from Lakeside Hotel. How do you do? Mr. Davis? It's very kind of you to meet me. Oh, it's my pleasure. How was your flight? It was okay, but it was really long. I'm a bit tired. I'd imagine so. That's a 19-hour flight from Sydney to Chicago. I hope you don't mind if I just check in and go to sleep. No, not at all.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's the video of the dialogue in English, and also we're going to practice a dialogue in Bahasa Indonesia, something like that, Mrs. Khusnul Khotimah MPD. Is it possible if we have some exercises regarding the dialogue in Bahasa Indonesia? Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, here we would like to practice. Me and Mrs. Khusnul Khotimah will practice how to make a conversation in a formal ways. Yeah, me as a student and Mrs. Khusnul Khotimah MPD as a lecturers. I mean like my lecturer. So we're using the formal language. Yeah.
You can
Halo,
send
selamat pagi Ibu Khusnul Khotimah.
Selamat pagi, Aldi. Ada yang bisa saya bantu?
Baik, terima kasih Ibu. Apakah saya bisa bertemu dengan Ibu Dekan?
Aku rasa kamu bisa bertemu di jam 10 pagi.
Baik, terima kasih Ibu atas informasinya. Saya akan kembali lagi ke ruang dekan pada pukul 10 pagi. Terima
Baik.
kasih.
Sama-sama. Translate dulu, Al.
Well, we have already practiced about formal conversation in Bahasa Indonesia. Me as a student, I'm asking for Mrs. Khusnul Khotimah to meet with Mrs. Yoga as the dean of our faculty, and she said that the dean isn't isn't ready in the room, so I have to back again in the dean room at 10 a.m. Okay, yeah, something like that. So now we're moved to the informal ways. of
You can send this link, please. Hello.
Pardon me, Mr. Nashab, do you mean that you require the link of this video?
Please, please, again, please.
Do you mean that you require the link of video of Bahasa
Yes.
Indonesia? Okay,
Yes.
thank you.
If you
Link of
can send us your links or PDF or
the
PowerPoint
material, the material.
material.
Oke,
Yes.
thank you.
Thank
Jadi
you.
Prof. Nasab meminta materi dan link video-video yang tadi ditampilkan sehingga nanti mungkin bisa dibuka dengan mudah oleh beliau sendiri.
Okay, so now we move to the informal dialogues. I will practice yeah, so we will practice how to make a conversation in informal ways in Bahasa Indonesia. So here, ya, Hai Bu Husnul, Ibu mau?
It's not mom. I'm friend. Yeah, friend.
Okay, so here I'm a friend from Mrs. Khusnul Khotimah. So halo kawan, ayo kita makan yuk.
Makan enak nyari ini.
Kayaknya enakan makan nasi goreng nggak sih?
Kayaknya enakan bakso nggak sih?
Oke deh, ayo kita makan bakso.
Oke, tak tunggu ya. Tak tunggu jam 3 sore nanti. Oke, bro?
Okay. Yeah, so ladies and gentlemen, that's the example of informal, yeah, that's the example of informal dialogue. Yeah, and I'm inviting for Mrs. Husnul to getting lunch. Yeah, I'm asking her to have fried rice, but she doesn't want that menu, so she wants to eat meatballs. So we will eat meatballs later at 3 p.m. something like that. So ladies and gentlemen, it is your turn to make a dialogue. Is that right, Mrs. Husnul? Or something else? Oh. Okay, so Mrs. Khusnul Khotimah wants you to tell us about your culture. You may directly on microphone or type your writing in the chat box. So please, ladies and gentlemen, Mrs. Khusnul Khotimah wants you to tell her or tell us about your culture in Egypt. Could you please tell us about that? If you feel ashamed, You may type it in the chat box. Yeah. Okay. It is free whether you will tell us about food or maybe clothes or languages. Yeah, Mrs. Khusnul? Yeah.
Yeah, all about.
Whatever culture that you have, you may tell us about that, please. Could you please? Oh, okay. So we will give you for about 5 minutes, Mrs. Susnul. Yeah, we will give you for about 5 minutes to prepare your work regarding
Egyptian
about your culture.
Egyptian culture. Today we are have Mother's Days or Family Days celebration to National Eid, Social Eid. You understand me?
Faisal, I understand what
Yes,
you
I
mean, but
understand.
it makes me encourage family days. What does it mean? It is special days for you to celebrate something, to give an honor for fathers or mothers of your family. Is it like that, Professor?
Especially mothers. All Egyptian people they gives gift to her mother.
Oh, you give an honor, high honor to your mothers.
Yes.
Yeah. In Java, especially for Java,
It's called Mother's Day.
Mother's Day.
Yes. Mother's Day. Yes.
For me, for our people in Java, there is a lot. There is a dish especially for Mother's Days. At least in 22 December in Indonesia, Mother's Days.
Yes.
I wonder about your Indonesia and Egypt as I think is a similarity of cultures because our country majority is Islam, so I think there is a similarity of culture between your country and our country. But I wonder, Indonesia has a lot of language, and especially in every language has differentiation because it's their dialects. So what about in Egypt? Is there a lot of language in Egypt? And what about the dialects? Is it different or not?
Egyptians is more people is religion his religion Islam and little quarter people Christian people only, not more religion, but we are have one civilization from more thousand years. We are living us together as a same family. No difference between us. After next Ramadan in Thursday, we all Egyptians people, Christian and Muslims, so happy this month because it's a lovely days, lovely life with us. I will. I think the next, the last sessions in this program We are in Ramadan. I will send you some pictures from life state in Egypt from Ramadan time. What about your Indonesia?
I think there are not a lot of different with an Egyptian. In Indonesia, Muslim and Christian and others, the field of religion, celebrate this Ramadan Karim because Ramadan is not for only for the Muslim, but it's only for people, a lot of people. Because for another field of religion, there is a kind of tradition in Ramadan. A lot of people search anything, especially for culinaire, for food, and they give food to each other. This is a kind of how to do it or to create a harmony in daily life with others people. So
Generous.
the others people like Christian, Hindu, and Buddhas and other religions, and they sell or give food for Muslim, and Muslim give food for them too. This is a kind a unique relationship between Muslim and another religion.
Welcome. We invite you and your professor and your students to visit Egypt soon.
Inshallah, we have
Inshallah.
a lot of university and opportunity. I believe I can go to Egypt and to see you and your beloved students. They are great students, I think. Thank you,
Thank you.
Professor.
Yes. Our student, when show your poster on link, so
Yes.
happy to share your program and your culture. I think they love Indonesia.
Okay, thank you. And I'm waiting for you for your visiting and your student into Indonesia.
Thank you, Professor.
Thank you, Prof.
Thank you.
Go on, Mas Aldi and Bu Husnul.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, so please, for all of you, anyone wants to tell us about the Egyptian culture? It is free whether you will tell us about your culinary, maybe, or your language, your culture, and etc. It is free for you to tell us. We are very excited to listen. Kayaknya mereka nggak. Okay, and we are very interesting from Egypt. We heard that Egypt is characterized with the pyramid. Is that right? Could you please tell us about the pyramid? Maybe.
We have
Oh yeah, yeah. Thank you so much.
we have three pyramids. The first is the bigger one. We have three pyramids in different lengths and size. And the Sphinx, it's in Giza. When you go to Egypt, you can visit inside the pyramid, and you can ride horses there. And it's something called like we call it hantur. It's like a horse with a car, a ride attached to it.
Yeah. Excuse me. Uh, does it
Yes.
a pyramid like a temple for you? In Indonesia, there are a lot of temples that used for worship and not for apa ya, untuk menguburkan, Mas Aldi.
Again, please, questions. Again, please.
Does it pyramid in Egypt like a temple for some people? In Indonesia, there are a lot of temples like Borobudur, like Prambanan, but the temple is a place for worship, a god, for worship to gods. And this is the same thing like in pyramid, Professor?
Yes, I will noted something. We have in Egypt more than 141 pyramids, but the famous is a famous three bigger pyramids, Khufu, Khafra, Muqara. But we have more. We have more museum, and all point in Egypt is famous for own civilization. Yeah. But we not maybe Indonesia is far from in Egypt in distance or times or plane, but maybe our Egyptian people or students exactly maybe not have more culture about Indonesia. Maybe not far, not traveling there, or I remember since 3 years ago making one day in our university about culture. When I invite ambassador in Indonesia in Egypt, really is very, very nice embassy in Egypt, which meeting places, buildings similar your person really is so nice. So when this time I will talk, I will aim goal or aim your country to get some cultures or some students or some programs like this now sit online.
Thank you, Professor.
Yeah, thank you.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, for the last course, we will show you the variety of languages to greet. Wait. Okay, this is the variety of languages in Indonesia, and kelihatan nggak, Bu?
Nggak kelihatan.
Oh, nggak kelihatan.
Ya. Oke, Aldi sambil disiapkan. Terakhir saya ingin memperlihatkan berbagai bahasa dalam budaya dan suku yang berbeda, ya. Kita akan mencoba mengucapkan terima kasih dari berbagai bahasa. Oke, Aldi, show this PowerPoint.
Okay, so everyone, please notice on the chat box, Mrs. Khusnul Khotimah MPD have already given the text in the chat box. So if you have any trouble on the screen, so you may go to the chat box and let's sit together about the variety of languages to say thank you.
Terima kasih di 23 bahasa.
Okay, so it is the way to say thank you in 23 languages in Indonesia. As I have told you before that Indonesia have lots of languages, so it is the example of it.
Aldi yang mengatakan bahasa Jambi, nanti aku yang bilang.
Okay.
In Jambi.
Okay, in Jambi.
Terima kasih.
Okay. In Sunda, you may say thank you in
hatur nuhun.
Okay. In Javanese, you may say terima kasih in
matur nuwun.
Okay. In Sasak, you may say terima kasih in
tampiase.
Okay. And in Minang, you may say terima kasih in
tarimo kasih.
Okay. In Toraja, you may say terima kasih
guru sumangga.
In Bali, you may say terima kasih
matur suksma.
Batak, you may say terima kasih
mauliate.
In Papua, you may say terima kasih
amanai.
In Aceh, you may say terima kasih
turimong gasebeh.
In Maumere, you may say terima kasih
epanggawang.
In Makassar, you may say terima kasih
tarima kasih.
In Karo, you may say terima kasih
bujur.
In Riau, you may say terima kasih
tekhima kasih.
In Manado, you may say terima kasih
makase.
In Nias, you may say terima kasih
sawegele.
In Kutai, you may say terima kasih
makaseh.
In Madura, you may say
matur sakalangkong.
In Minahasa, you may say
makapulu sama.
In Banggai, Sulawesi Tengah, you may say.
Tina Tawan.
In Bugis, Sulawesi Selatan, you may say.
Kuru Sumangi.
In Tidore, you may say.
Sukur Dofu.
And the last is Ambon, you may say.
Dangke.
Well, that's all about the variety of languages. For saying thank you in Bahasa Indonesia. Yeah,
That is your
from
number
all
language
over the island in
in your
Indonesia.
country.
Okay.
That is your number of language in your country. You,
Well, ladies and gentlemen, after this, before we close our sessions today, we will have a photo sessions together. So everyone please on camera and we will take a picture together. Okay. So everyone please keep smile.
افتحوا الكاميرات يا
Smile
شباب.
please.
افتحوا الكاميرا يا شباب.
Cheers.
شباب العبور افتحوا الكاميرا.
Okay. Once again, ya. Dari Ibu barangkali mau di SS juga Bu, barangkali trouble. Oh, sudah. Wait a minute. Wait. Okay.
You can send me this picture.
Okay, once more, please. Everyone, please have a smile. 1, 2, 3. Okay, thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Send me this picture.
Yeah.
Send me this picture.
Okay. Yeah, that. Yeah. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's all about our course today. And thank you so much for joining this meeting. And I'll see you again in the next opportunities. Thank you so much. I would be very happy if you would like to learn more about Indonesia and especially for Tegal. Okay. Thank you so much for attending this meeting. I'll see you again in the next opportunities. And wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Goodbye.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you.
Thank you so much for having us, Professor Nashat Edward. Goodbye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Bye.